This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Helping you find emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. It's time to find out with Psychic Suzanna.
This is Life with Psychic Suzanna, and this is the only place you want to be at 7:30. This is a show that is centered around you, giving you the answers to the questions you have. We're all about looking into what you need to know. Please note you can always find us on Life with Psychic Suzanna on Facebook or Susanna Stickney. That's how you get to know what's coming on. If you're a friend of Psychic Suzanna or Susanna Stickney on Facebook or Twitter, you would have known we've got a little bit of a change coming up tonight. And it's basically because this show is about informing you on what's important. And we want to give you ideas all the times. Of course, we'll be taking your calls. But before we do that, I want you to know Psychic Suzanna, get all the questions you need, find out what's on the show. Also, right now, I'm going to welcome our first guest. We have two guests. Again, if you joined me on Susanna Stickney on Facebook, and gosh darn, I hope you have, you would know that right now, after we have our dear, sweet Pam, who we've become so in love with, on the air from the Nebraska Humane Society, we have brought together someone who is going to help us from Allegiant Health. She's going to help us understand this bullying issue. We're going to figure out how we can protect our kids, how we can help whether our kids have been bullied, how we can see all that. But again, we sent out a thing telling you on Tuesday that we would have Pam here. So I could not let my Pam not be here. Welcome to the show, Pam from Nebraska Humane Society. Thank you, Pam Wiese, for coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for having a dog here, too. I mean, I feel so at home.
Yes, you do, and he really, really had a fun time with you. Because we all smell like dogs once we get dogs, don't we?
Oh, and I smell so good to dogs. Dogs come across the street to see me because I constantly have dog hair and drool and everything on me.
And I don't know that but I think they see you as being very good looking, too. I must tell you, you're in this really nice thing. You look like you're ready to tackle the world. But Pam, the reason I got you here is because we have all these people who how's the Chihuahuas, by the way?
You know, they're doing okay. I'll give you a quick update. We got a lot of the puppies out that very first day that we had them up for adoption because they are kind of bulletproof. You know, puppies are puppies.
Yeah.
And so we were able to get a lot of those guys out. Then we have a lot of the adults who are a little bit less social. So they're in foster care with lots of folks that are working with them on socialization, getting a bit more comfortable being handled. And those little poops are going to be going out as quickly as they are comfortable with people. So It's up to them when we kind of get them through the system. We've already, I think last Sunday, we had some folks that were interested and who had emailed us. We got them together with some of the available dogs that are starting to come out of their shells. And I think that we got several of them out to homes as well, maybe 10 or 12 of them. And so we're slowly getting them out. The socialization issue is an issue that listen to him. That's Mickey. You guys.
He's being your sound effects.
Going,
yes.
Talk about me. The socializing though is important. It's super that he's here. He's only 7 weeks old. He's getting comfortable with people. He's really confident in greeting, and that's one of the things that you need to do with your puppies and your new dogs is to make sure that they're social and comfortable. Because if they're comfortable in society, then they're not going to be scared, and they're not going to then bite, have issues, submissive urination, some of that type of stuff that people don't want. So,
well, I want to start by it. We asked you about the Chihuahuas. And people don't know the story, may not have heard the story before. And let's tell them what the story was, that you get rescued. How many Chihuahuas again?
We got 63 out of a home, and then we got 30 more. So there were 100 little dogs running around in this home, and actually there were 2 homes, and they had been breeding some dogs, and then I think it got a little out of control.
I am imagine, yeah.
And so these dogs were in the home with the family, but that was about the only socialization that they got. And so some of them were pretty unused to being handled, and therefore they were a little retarded in their socialization. So we're working to get them social and to get them out.
And now I got this dog from the Midwest Dog Rescue, which is, again, that foster care. I didn't know the Humane Society does foster care.
We do that as well. A lot of the rescue groups will do that because they don't have a physical plant like we do, so they don't have a place to actually house the dogs. So they house them with families, which is fabulous because then you know everything about them. Some of our dogs you know a lot about and some you don't because we get them in stray and we're not so sure about what their background is. But they put them in foster homes and then adopt them out of foster homes. We do that with animals that don't do well in the sheltering situation, but for everybody else, the majority of the dogs and cats that we get are right there in the shelter.
And how many do you have in the shelter?
You know, it all depends. We can house 500, 600 animals very easily. Right now, I don't think we have that many. I think we're getting more full of cats. As you know, summer becomes cat season, so we're getting more cats and kittens in. The kittens, though, a lot of the little guys that can't yet be made available for adoption then go to foster families and need to, be weaned and all that jazz. And then when they're ready to be adopted out, they come back. Because you don't want them taking up space in the shelter, and you also want them to grow in an environment that's really nurturing. So we get them out of the shelter until they're, of 2 pounds and can be spayed or neutered. Then they come back and then they go out for adoption.
Now, as I understand it, you have this week an event coming up this Saturday.
You betcha. Saturday next, so it's a week from yesterday. Black Tie and Tails is the name of it. Now, don't be off-put. You don't have to wear a tuxedo.
Okay.
But it is a gala. It's a benefit dinner, so there's a cocktail. This year we've got a patron party to begin with, and cocktail hour, dinner hour, silent auction, oral auction program. And then we even have an after party after it.
Oh, my Lord.
It's our biggest gala. So it's one of our great fundraisers. It happens every 2 years, and so it's kind of a special deal. And it's this coming Saturday. If people want more information about it, they can log on to our website, Nebraska Humane Society, www.anyhumanesociety.org. There's an icon right there that says Black Tie and Tails, and if you click on it, it'll take you there. It'll show you some of the auction items, give you an idea of what the prices are to come, and it's really kind of a fun event.
Wonderful. That sounds like an exciting event I want to come to, and that's this Saturday?
This coming Saturday, and it's heartwarming.
Can you get tickets at the door?
You need to make a reservation because it's dinner, so they kind of want to make sure that you call in and get a ticket.
Call?
If people are interested in tickets, they can call 444-7800. If they just press 1, they'll get dispatch. If they tell dispatch, hey, I'm looking for Black Tie and Tails tickets, they'll send you to the right person. I give you the extension, but it's easier just to do that.
And do we bring our little friends with us?
This is one event where you don't bring your four-legged friends.
You don't bring our friends.
Because it's kind of cocktail wear and people are kind of dressed up. So this is the one.
So we don't want to be bending over in tight cocktail dresses to check on our little ones.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to put you to the test because I sent out to the Facebook person and asked them, do we have questions? And here are the questions.
Okay.
What do we do with the new puppy that starts biting?
Puppies do that. They're teething. So some of the things that you can do if you have a puppy that's...
As I sit here with the teething biscuit.
The teething, but you're doing the exact right thing. What you'll want to do is if you have a dog or even a cat that wants to bite you and play with you, redirect his attention. If he's starting to chew on you, say no, and you give him the toy to chew on. And each time you give him what you want him to chew on, a toy, redirect his attention. Because a puppy is so young, you don't want to do any type of negative discipline, really, ever. But
so
especially with the
slap is not a good thing?
Yikes. No. You really don't want to do that. All you want to do is redirect and say, no, here you go. This is what you want to chew on. This is because you don't want him to be scared of you and go, oh, well, I can't chew on her, but I'm going to go chew on the neighbor. You don't want to be scared of you.
Don't whine.
No chewing, no chewing, Mickey. So redirect with a proper, if you want him to chew on a toy, you want him to chew on a chewy thing, there are all kinds of things that you can get him to redirect on.
Okay, what about these barking dogs? Sometimes they bark too much. If a car passes by, they bark and they drive neighbors crazy and everybody crazy. What do we do about barking dogs and our dog if they bark a little too much?
Absolutely. First of all, you need to remember that dogs are going to bark because they are. Everybody talks. Dogs are going to bark. Now, if you have a dog that's sustained barking, and it begins to drive people crazy, then that becomes a problem. But a few barks here and there, a dog who barks when the doorbell rings, That's kind of normal.
Well, they're great watchdogs.
That's kind of what they're supposed to do. Exactly.
Did you know what Oprah Winfrey, she had some burglars on her shows.
Really?
Yeah, and she said to them, what made you go into some homes and not go into other homes? And she said, well, we didn't go into homes with dogs. And she said, what if they're small dogs? And the burglar says, we don't know how bad they bite.
A, and B, they're loud. So they're going to wake somebody up or they're going to alert somebody to that, regardless of whether they're little dogs or big dogs. So sometimes barking, you want them to do a little bit of barking. Now, obviously, barking can become a big issue.
What if your neighbor's dog always barks?
And you want to talk to the neighbor about it, first of all, if you can. But if your dog is barking, ways to retrain, there are things that you can do to keep him from barking. There are ways to get him to not bark. There are things you can get him to stop barking and reward the stopping barking. There are certain training techniques that you can use. And rather than get into it, because different dogs bark for different reasons. So you have to figure out why he's barking, first of all, and figure out what's triggering in that, and then figure out how you can stop it. Mm-hmm. But we've got this fabulous behavior helpline. And if people want to...
We have a behavior helpline?
At the shelter, we do.
Sweet Jesus, did you hear that, Jim?
It's free. It is a free
helpline.
Behavior helpline.
Oh, do you have that number printed? I want that card when you leave.
You betcha, baby. It's right here. The reason why we have this, and everybody says, what? It's free? I mean, yeah, it's not a hotline. I mean, you don't call and go, oh my gosh, my dog's doing this right now. Please help me. It's a helpline. And if you call, it's not manned. But if you leave a message, they usually try to get back to you within 24 hours with some definite, answers. We also have a lot of information on our website. So it
really does have a lot of information on your website.
If you go into the training, you click on the training tab and then you go down in behavior solutions. If you look in there, there are downloadable PDFs that are for everything. I mean, it's crate training, play biting and mouthing like you were talking about, digging, barking, separation anxiety, submissive dogs, scared dogs, dogs that, do submissive urination every time the doorbell rings. There are so many downloadable pieces of information on there that you can look at and go, oh, okay. Then if you call the helpline and say, okay, this is what my dog's doing, they'll probably walk you through that and talk to you about, here's how you get him to stop barking. If you spray him with a little bit of water, doesn't hurt him, but it interrupts him. Whoa, no longer barking. What was that? Then when he stops barking, you reward him. Pretty soon he realizes, oh, when I stop barking, I get rewarded rather than being rewarded for the barking. So there are some ways that you can do that. There are some behavior aids that you can use as well. There's something called a citronella bark collar, which sprays.
That looks like it hurts.
Not my interest.
No, it sprays them with citronella, and they don't like the smell. Doesn't hurt them, doesn't make their eyes water, doesn't poison them. They don't like the smell. So they stop. When it squirts, it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. And then when they bark again, it doesn't shock them. It just sprays a little bit of citronella. It's sound activated. You put it on them, little collar, sprays them. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. They learn I'm not supposed to bark.
I wonder if I could talk my neighbor into purchasing one of those.
And that's it's
you can give it to her
like,
as a
hey,
gift.
let's
Christmas.
give you this. Let's give you a try. Okay. But the behavior helpline at the shelter, it's extension 221. So if you call 444-7800 and you hit 221, you'll get a recording that says you've reached the behavior helpline. Yada yada yada. You leave your name, your phone number, and a brief, hi, my neighbor's dog is barking, barking, barking. Can you give me any tips on helping them? They'll try to give you a call back within 24 hours. You leave your number. You can also email, and it's just behelp@nehumanesociety.org. behelp@nehumanesociety.org. You can email them that information as well, and they'll email back or they'll call back. Sometimes it's easier to talk one-on-one, than to do an email. It's easier to go, okay, well, what does he do when he does this? Well, how does it happen? What triggers it? And our behaviorists will talk to you about what may be triggering the activity, what the issues are surrounding whatever it is that you're having a problem with, and try to talk you through the solution. So the reason why...
You've been a fountain of knowledge.
Well, the reason why is because we want you to keep your animal home. If we can help you through these behavior problems and you can keep your animal with you, then you're not going to bring him to us. So we are more than happy to give that information out. And it doesn't have to be a dog from the shelter that you're inquiring about. It can be any dog. It can be your neighbor's dog.
And you have PDF files, so we can download something if we're having a problem.
Absolutely.
Go to the file and find it out. Wow. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, Pam. You have been a thrill. You are a blessing to know.
Oh, you know what? Back at you, because I can't believe you have this little dude with you here. This is wonderful. I love it.
You are a blessing to know, and you look so healthy.
Well, thanks.
You must be doing something right.
I jogged over here. No, I didn't. I'm kidding.
I'd worry about you completely then, yes. All right, give me that dog hotline number, and then you can leave because we've got to take a break.
All right.
All right, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
And don't forget the black tie event is this weekend. You can give them a call. The number again is
444-7800. Hit 1 and tell them what you want, and they'll get you to the right person.
It sounds like a party to be at.
It is going to be a tail wagging good
at?
time. It's at the Ramada Convention Center, 72nd and Grover. We've got 2 big ballrooms, and it'll be fun. Yep.
Wow.
Grand
All right.
time.
Thank you for stopping by.
You betcha.
God bless. All right, say goodbye. All right.
Bye, Mickey.
Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
You are exactly where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. You can find us here every week, and we stay in tune to what you need, what you ask for, and we want to help you. So please join us on Facebook at Susanna Stickney, Facebook or Twitter. That's where you get one information. I give you an affirmation a day or something empowering every day. I'd like you to join us. We are one thought away from making the world a better place. Also, I'd like you to join me on Life with Psychic Suzanna. That's where you get what's coming up. And as you being on Life with Psychic Suzanna, you saw the change in venue that we were going to have. We were going to keep Pam here a little bit longer, but boy, Jim, she gave us so much info. It was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
I like that hotline. I will check out that number.
Well, you're not having the card. It's my card. The hotline number is 402-444-7800, extension 221.
All right. I wrote it down right.
All right.
Thank you.
So
Double check
now we're moving on because of Jim, by the way, the crack producer Jim. I came in here.
Let's see if I can crack a knuckle on that,
and he had the story that we were going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And the story is about a child who had, after being bullied, had committed suicide. Now, suicide is just a different subject completely other than bullying. But it is part of what brought this discussion about today. We're right now talking to Sharon Krieger.
Yes.
Of Allegiant Health. She is a therapist and a psychiatric associate. Tell me about the bullying issues. First of all, how do we recognize if our child is being bullied as a parent?
Children who are bullied often retreat from their earlier activities. They don't want to go to school. They don't come out of their room. They don't enjoy spending time with their friends. Maybe they stop eating. They cry a lot. So their behaviors change dramatically.
Is it a rapid change or just...
It's more of a change over time.
Okay. So if I find out my son's being bullied at school, let's start there.
Yes.
Okay. Because we're bullied at work. We're bullied all over the place. I hate to say that. But if we find out our child is being bullied at work, what do you suggest?
If we think our child might be bullied at school, it's good to come up with a casual conversation, maybe a roundabout way. Ask him, hey, do you ever see anybody at school getting hassled by other kids? Maybe kids picking on somebody? And then eventually your child will typically say, well, yeah, that happens to me.
So to help our child, because there's shame with being bullied, isn't there?
There is. A child's self-worth is damaged greatly when he's bullied. Some kids who are bullied, or many of them actually, are rejected by their peers, and they don't have a lot of friends. And so they don't have kids coming to their support. Mm-hmm. If we suspect a child is being bullied, it's important to find out what's happening. Tell me about it, and listen, and let the kid describe what's going on.
So I must tell you, when I have clients who come to me in an appearance, and I have children come up to me, and I ask about the bullying situation, And I say, you know, there's some kids who don't like you. And they say, yeah, I know that. I says, well, it's probably because they don't know you. So if you're being bullied, it's not because of anything you've done. So there should be no shame, correct?
There shouldn't be any shame. It's usually not because the kid has done anything. He's usually being picked on. For example, children with disabilities are much more likely to be bullied.
Okay. We're going to take a small break. We're going to keep her on till 8:15, and then, so you've got to stay tuned because this information is going to help you protect your child from incidents in their life. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
Okay, you're right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. We have taken a little curve in the show tonight because of the bullying incident that had a suicide. We are talking with bullying, and we're going to be talking solutions when we get back off the air. We're going to be talking with Sharon Krieger from the Allegiant Health. She's going to give us ideas how to recognize the bullying, how to prevent it, what to do with our kids. It's amazing how much bullying there is out there. Please note, you can always find us at psychicsuzanna.com and KFAB.com. The information you're going to get tonight about bullying will be going up on the web on Tuesday. Let's pass it out. Let's not let another child go through the issues that this one child had. By the way, I was at a lunch today at the Hudson's estate, and we were talking with about 6 people and 7 people, and about all of them had some bullying issues. So apparently, bullying is... Were you a bully or were you bullied, Jim?
I think I've gone both ways.
Really?
A little. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Well, oh my.
I have to be honest.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to...
I call it teasing.
Teasing, okay. Yeah. Where does teasing and bullying coming? We'll have to figure that one out. We're going to be right back. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna. 1110 KFAB. You check us out. You are exactly where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. This show is centered around you and the needs that you have and the thoughts that you have. We're here to prepare you for tomorrow by giving you experts in the field that'll help you move through your daily problems. Please find us all the time at KFAB.com. You go on the weekend shows. You can listen to the weekend shows again and again. Also, please KFAB, Psychic Suzanna. .com. That's where you get a free question. You get my schedule, the whole thing. Just be aware of that. That's where you can find us. Life with Psychic Suzanna on Facebook and Susanna Stickney on Facebook and Twitter will give you all the information you need about what's coming up on the show. I got someone wrote me this past week asking about because the suicide that happened last week in Iowa because of being outed as a gay. And so he committed suicide, but it was because of bullying. And she asked, how do I able to help my child handle bullying, see if they're being bullied, and all those questions. So when someone asked me on Facebook to look it up, we found Sharon Krieger. She is with Allegiant Health. She's going to guide us in helping us figure out what to do. Jim,
Yes.
You were talking to my Sharon?
Yes.
Is she okay?
She's okay.
Okay.
Yes, she's
all right,
okay.
Sharon, we've got this suicide, but it's not about suicide. It's really about bullying. As I said today at the Hudson Estate, we were talking, and there were 7 people of us, and 6 of them had been bullied. A beautiful blonde had been bullied. So, I mean, it's just not everyone can be bullied. Is that it?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. What do we do? What do we do when we're being bullied? What do we do as a child who's so unequipped to handle it? How should we handle it as a parent to guide our children?
First, I think parents want to be aware of where the bullying is happening. At school, it might happen in the locker room. It might happen in the hallway, at lunchtime, and on the bus.
So these are the main places. Oh, did you see the movie that's just out on bullying? It was taken on a bus.
Yes. Yes.
And what was the driver? He was driving, of course.
And the drivers have a big job to do themselves, and they can't stop all of the bullying. But we know that kids are getting poked and hit and called names. We also know that in the locker room, kids are getting depantsed. Their clothes are getting stolen. A shoe might get stolen. They're getting punched. In the hallway, kids are getting shoved into lockers and shoved as they walk down the hallway.
Okay. And so if we find our child is being bullied, what do we do?
First of all, if it's happening in school, it's very important that the parent contacts the administration right away, reports the bullying, and then asks to be notified after the discipline has taken place.
Okay.
It's also important for parents to go to school districts and ask them to have an anti-bullying policy in place to make sure that discipline is in place, and also to have preventive playground plans. So kids need to have much more supervision on the playground.
Okay. All right. We got that.
All right.
All right. Now we have that done. How else can our kids be bullied? There's so many ways. When you sent me the information, which will go up on KFAB.com, so I'm going to invite all of you to check it out. It's a great form that she sent me with the questions and the answers, but there's cyberbullying.
Yes, and one of the frightening things about cyberbullying is that kids who are bullied in this manner are much more likely to become severely depressed. So cyberbullying is even more dangerous than face-to-face bullying.
Okay.
Cyberbullying takes place on Twitter, on Facebook, all forms of social media, as well as video clips, emails, text messages, any kind of technical contact.
Okay. So I noticed that you suggested, and I've always suggested this to my clients, that they not let the child have their cell phone in their bedroom.
That's right.
We don't want I don't believe we should have computers in the bedroom.
That's right, too.
I don't believe we should have any electrical thing in the bedroom.
Other than the radio, that's it.
Okay. Radio can get you in trouble. Okay. So the parents should be looking over the children's texts?
Yes, the parents should check the text messages. They also need to limit who the kids can contact. If your child is 13 or under, your child should only be able to receive text messages from the parents, and then also from maybe 2 or 3 trusted peers. That's it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We have to monitor, don't we?
Yes.
It's monitoring. Do you think bullying has gotten bigger, more prevalent, or is it because there's more people it's more prevalent?
It's much more prevalent because the forms of communication have expanded so much. Many parents don't realize that iPods also have access to text messaging and social media. And so kids are on their iPod or their phone.
On an iPod, you can get on Facebook?
Yes.
And Twitter?
Yes. And
so we're not really protecting our kids from the bullies.
No.
We're letting them. So we have to really control it.
We do. And kids are spending time in the classroom on Twitter all day long. I can find a stream of Twitter messages where girls are talking about other girls all day long.
That's horrible. That's horrible. But what happens if we find out that our child is a bully?
If we find out our child is a bully, then we really need to take action. I think therapy is very important for the kids because they may have been bullied and because they're typically aggressive children and sometimes they are delinquent children, as hard as that is to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find out why is the child acting so aggressively.
Okay. And then what if the police come into it? Is that something? Or
sometimes that's a blessing. Once the police come into it, then the parents take it very seriously and the parents have some backing so that they can discipline their child.
So it is about monitoring and disciplining.
Yes, monitoring and disciplining are both very important. Many parents are condoning their children to have accounts on social media programs such as Facebook, even though the children are underage.
Yeah, I did not realize Facebook was only for 13 and above.
Right. Yet 7.5 million children under the age of 13 have Facebook accounts, and 7 out of 10 parents help the children set up those accounts.
Okay. And yeah, again, the computer is a horrible place to get into trouble if you're not being monitored.
That's correct. Kids are sending horrible pictures. They are sending messages via postings, and they're also sending instant messages.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I want to thank you for stopping by and giving us this information. Again, it'll go up at the KFAB website and my website, Psychic Suzanna, this week, so you can look at it. And then how do people get a hold of you?
You may contact Psychiatric Associates at Lakeside, and we have a whole team of therapists who are very happy to help parents with their children's discipline.
Okay, and the number is?
402-758-5887.
Okay, again, 402-758-5887. And the thing that I want you all to listen to, we have to monitor. We have to be in their face because life is special. And if these children feel like they're alone in the world, we're not helping them. If the biggest thing we can do is be there for our children and listen. And thank you again for coming by and protecting our children from bullying.
And thank you, Susanna, for raising the awareness.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We'll be right back. We're coming back to your calls, by the way. The number is 1-800-543-1110 or 558-1110. That's where we're going to look in your future. Again, 558-1110, 1-800-543-1110. And I had a little blurb there, Jim. That was just amazing. All right.
An Earth Day blurb.
Blurb, yes. Did you recycle all your things in the right way this week?
You know, this week I got busy with the spring cleaning.
Oh.
I painted the spare
Do you
bedroom.
recycle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you recycle your, because I buy used sometimes. I buy, things, if I can get something, I don't throw away things.
Really?
I just,
So you're a hoarder.
I'm not a hoarder.
Oh, okay.
Remember we did that show on hoarding?
I do remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm not a hoarder. She told me I'm not a hoarder, but I just make everything work hard for me.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna. Time to give us a call at 1-800-543-1110 or 558-1110. If you have called before, you're not supposed to be calling again, young people. All right? But we love our young listeners, so give us a call. 1-800-543-1110 or 558-1110.
Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. She knew I was going to say that.
Okay, you are exactly where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. You can always find us at psychicsusanna.com or kfab.com. When there is something you want to talk about, please come to me on Facebook, as we did with the bullying that we had on tonight. You find us at Susanna Stickney on Facebook, on Twitter, or Life with Psychic Suzanna. You can get a little intel on what's coming up this coming week, and you can always check it out. I want to thank Sharon Krieger for coming in last minute. She came in for us. I want to thank Pam Wiese. Great information, and amazing that there's a toll-free line. Isn't that, Jim?
Yes, I'm just playing with Mickey over here.
our show dog.
Show dog.
Yeah, yep. That is running around and doing everything. But isn't that interesting that if you're having a problem with your dog, you can go online?
I like that idea.
Yeah.
And suggestions.
Yeah.
That
By the way.
Number to call, not toll free, but a number.
But also you can go on the web. Mm-hmm. Also, did you know that if you are working with the alcohol issue this month, teenage drinking, remember the Mad Society, this is their month. Okay. And right now during the holiday season, you're not going to, this is a holiday for the kids because the kids will be thinking about celebrating accidents.
Prom and stuff. And getting out of school.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Kids don't have an idea of what accidents mean. So please listen to the show that we did with Ron Samuelson. He's a local restaurant owner here who has been into drugs and things, recovering now, has 2 great restaurants here in town. But that show was October 25th. That show was November 1st. So you be sure and check that show out. Go back to listen to all the other shows because they will guide you and they will help you with things you want. There's a wonderful show that we did with karmic divorce. Those of you who are thinking about divorcing and with the children. I want you to take care of the children first. That's the important thing, and that's why we had our discussion tonight. Right now, we want to talk to your calls, so please give us a call at 1-800-543-1110 or 558-1110. And right now, we're going to Texas. Hello, Deb.
Yes.
Deb, and what part of Texas?
Burnett, Texas.
Okay. I'm going to Houston at the end of May. I'm so excited. First of all, Deb, do you know what the word worry means?
Absolutely.
Okay, no, you don't. Worry means you're insulting God.
Oh.
It says, God, listen, you can handle the stars, the earth, the moon, but you can't handle my life. Okay? So I need you to stop worrying. And I want you, have you ever heard the statement that your thoughts carry energy, and the more you think about something, the more likely it is to be manifested?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, stop thinking about the things you don't want. Okay?
Okay.
All